Nintendo is slowly but surely peeling back the curtain on the Nintendo Switch 2, and today's update, though small, signals a surprising shift in the company's long-term UI strategy. For years, Nintendo fans have adapted to a controller-first interface with minimal OS interaction. But now, a functional mouse pointer on the home screen? That changes everything. Let's unpack this latest discovery. The big news is that Nintendo has now integrated mouse pointer support directly into the Switch 2 home screen, which is visible in a quietly released video walkthrough. The pointer is activated using the Joy-Con in a motion control configuration. It hovers naturally across the screen, selecting tiles like Mario Kart World and navigating to the settings menu. While that might not sound revolutionary, it subtly signals a foundational change in how players might interact with the system beyond traditional game controls. What's more intriguing is how Nintendo explains these new controls. In the demo, they navigate to a How to Use Mouse Controls guide, using the mouse itself, no less, to show players how to interact with the interface. The irony? If you can already reach the settings with the mouse, you probably don't need the instructions. But Nintendo being Nintendo, the walkthrough is both endearing and insightful. The instructions highlight several key elements. First, attaching the Joy-Con strap appears to improve precision. That makes sense, especially if the system is interpreting motion inputs in a 3D space. Second, and more impressively, the right analog stick now mimics a mouse scroll wheel, allowing users to flick through menus more naturally. This adds tactile feedback to the otherwise digital experience, mimicking what PC gamers have been accustomed to for decades. There's also confirmation that mouse support extends to compatible software titles. While this isn't new, the seamless toggle between controller and pointer is. For example, in a moment pulled from the demo, the player lifts the Joy-Con for direct interaction, much like pointing a remote, and then sets it back down to re-engage cursor mode. The transition is instant, smooth, and doesn't require a pause or menu change. This seemingly minor interaction matters. It gives Switch 2 an edge in user experience design, particularly when navigating menus in supported titles. Think of games like Metroid Prime 4, which, by the way, ran beautifully at 120 frames per second in a recent demo, where navigating logs, options, or map elements could benefit from quick mouse-style precision. Now, here's where the conversation turns a bit critical. Despite the excitement of cursor support, the user interface hasn't evolved much. In fact, it's largely the same grid-based launcher scene on the original Switch. That means limited icons on screen, very few dynamic elements, and arguably minimal real-world utility for mouse functionality, at least for now. When compared to operating systems like the PS5 UI or Xbox Series dashboard, which have increasingly leaned into web-like layouts and interaction layers, Nintendo still feels rooted in simplicity. While charming, this minimalism leaves little room for mouse-driven innovation. In the current form, clicking through 4 or 5 oversized tiles isn't significantly faster than using a D-pad or stick. Even in the settings screen, the mouse cursor doesn't offer additional functionality. It's just a different way to move between the same elements. That's a missed opportunity. For example, Nintendo could have included expandable folders, hover animations, or even quick launch windows when icons are hovered over. If they're going to embrace the mouse, they need to make it essential, not just optional. Back in the day, Nintendo was known for experimenting with UI interaction. Remember the DS Touch menu? Or the Wii's channel interface, which itself was inspired by early smart TV layouts. Even the Wii U had a surprisingly deep multitasking interface. With the Switch 2, however, Nintendo appears to be playing it safe. That said, the hardware may still be evolving, and this video could be from an early OS build. Let's not forget one important factor: potential future applications. Just because the mouse works minimally now doesn't mean it'll stay that way. Nintendo is famous for rolling out incremental updates and overhauls when new ideas or experiences justify them. The inclusion of a pointer at all suggests that future apps, like a possible web browser, drawing suite, or even advanced multimedia controls, could make much better use of it. And let's imagine the scenario. What if the Switch 2 gets a creative tool set akin to Mario Paint, Flipnote Studio, or even a new version of Miiverse? That's where this pointer functionality could shine. Nintendo has a history of integrating fun, expressive features when least expected. If this pointer is the foundation, they may be building toward more engaging user interaction down the line. Another theory is that Nintendo is preparing Switch 2 for a broader demographic. Mouse-style interaction is more intuitive for newcomers or younger users. It also opens the door to accessibility improvements, something many in the community have called for. That brings us to compatibility. If you can toggle from joystick to pointer effortlessly, could third-party peripherals be next? A USB or Bluetooth-enabled mouse. Perhaps even support for drawing tablets or styluses. While that's speculative, it aligns with what we've seen from recent Nintendo patents hinting at stylus interaction. The hardware's already halfway there. Of course, there's the nostalgia factor too. Longtime Nintendo fans will remember the original Super Nintendo mouse, bundled with Mario Paint, or the Wii Sensor Bar, which enabled Wii Remote pointer control. The Switch 2's motion-based mouse feels like a modern blend of both. And that's part of what makes it exciting. It's not just new tech, it's familiar but evolved. While the video demo doesn't give us any confirmation of advanced pointer features, like customizable shortcuts, draggable windows, or in-game gestures, it's a strong proof of concept. And if nothing else, it adds another layer of interactivity to the Switch 2 ecosystem. Looking forward, we hope to see deeper system integration. Think customizable widgets, drag-and-drop UI elements, or even a proper eShop overhaul. With a mouse interface, Nintendo could bring more PC-style flexibility without losing their trademark simplicity. The most exciting takeaway: this is just the beginning. The pointer functionality proves that Nintendo is willing to test new user paradigms in the console space again. That's a bold step forward after years of iterative changes. Here at Technology Review, we'll be tracking every update leading up to the Switch 2 launch. Whether it's software details, new hardware features, or behind-the-scenes changes to Nintendo's UX philosophy, you'll find it all right here. Be sure to subscribe for full deep dives, game impressions, hardware comparisons, and everything in between.